for This Is As We Became.
And the women you're becoming.
Yay! Oh my God, I'm glad we got it on one take. Okay. All right, hey y'all. Welcome back to our podcast. If you don't know, I'm Esther.
I'm Lola.
And I'm Danny.
And he is our guest for today because, y'all, we have a topic that needs to be discussed. But first and foremost, how was everybody's Thanksgiving?
It was nice. We had a good old time. Great food, great music. I'm looking forward to Christmas.
Are you?
I am.
This was my favorite holiday. Thanksgiving's my favorite. So once we wrap it up, I'm like,
you're not in the
I'm excited for Christmas, but Christmas to me is like, it's a financial holiday.
I did great for a Christmas gift, by the way.
Did you?
I said, wow.
Like, you think it's gonna be phenomenal?
I think you're gonna kiss me on the mouth. How much you love me.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, I'll kiss you on the mouth for free. But I'm like, I got your Christmas gift, and I don't think you're gonna be as excited. I bought it.
Well, you got time.
No, I'm not gonna change it. Like,
what?
You said your birthday matters more. That's what you said.
I do.
I have your birthday gift already planned out and everything. Like, literally, it's gonna be your favorite.
Okay.
So you said cheap out for Christmas.
Yes.
Which I didn't even cheap out for. I feel like it's a very decent price.
Okay.
So, and her birthday and Christmas are like a week apart. I had to be financially.
No, I gave her permission. I literally was like, y'all, if I need to get socks for Christmas.
Socks, she said.
I will take the socks for Christmas. Right. Do not show up January 6th and disrespect me.
You see?
Listen now, I've been disappointed before.
Not by me.
Not by you guys, but just, I'm like, I can take it no more. But I said that jokingly. Not jokingly, but jokingly. But I appreciate you taking the warning.
I did. And I got you something you're going to appreciate it for Christmas.
I love it.
But you're not going to, like, be like, oh my God.
I love, like multifaceted gift, like literally, I
like out of the box kind of gifts.
Yeah. Okay. So or like even like things. I remember one of my favorite gifts was like Margaret gave me a like, it's not a blanket robe, but it's not a snuggly. You throw it over your body like a regular blanket, but it has pockets. Oh. And so like it's the best thing ever, and I have never found it anywhere else. I'm gonna ask her because I want another one and I want to give one to my mom. So like trust me, if I'll put it to use. And I think you'll put your gift to use.
See, I appreciate that. I like useful gifts as well.
Yes.
What kind of gifts do you like, Daniel? You won't be getting one from either of us, but except for our thanks, of course.
Crazy.
He's like, I'm never coming back.
Right.
Our thanks, of course.
All right, I'm like stereotypical guy kind of. I really like decorative socks. Okay. Like I do wear normal socks, like your regular like Nike crew socks, whatever. But I like stylish socks. Okay. So like if people like my siblings do that, and they're like so thankful that they don't have to spend mad money on me for like birthdays and holidays. If they get me like 3 packs of like really really nice socks, I like that.
So you hear that, ladies? Your men want socks.
No, I didn't say the men. I said me.
He said, I speak for myself.
But you know what? While we're here,
but you speak for your brother.
But guys do like watches, though.
I feel like I get watches every other year. Like, how many watches do you need?
First of all, you love you some purses.
Okay.
And every year, you're like, purses this.
How many purses you got?
How many purses you got?
They're for different outfits, for different occasions, for different levels of fanciness.
Okay. It's very convenient. Anyways, watches and socks. Anything else? Pocket in the wallet. I just feel like that's a Dr. Seuss thing.
Depends on how much you spend. What would be dope if your guy likes to dress up? There's some sites where you can make bespoke suits.
Bespoke.
So bespoke is basically custom suits.
Okay.
So it's tailored to your body.
Oh.
Right. So if you somehow but some people spend hundreds of dollars.
No, they do. Gifts. I worked at Express for like a year and a half, and like I was like,
the suits in Express are expensive, right?
I remember one time I just picked up the jacket. I'm like, this is $300, not the shirt included, not the pants, not the tie,
right? Just the jacket. Yeah,
I'm like, but it was a cute ass jacket, and I was like, I hope to one day have a boyfriend who'll go into Express and buy a jacket. I won't. He will. I'll help him pick it out though.
So you got a guy or your guy, a nice bespoke suit. That's different from the regular suit because it's a bespoke suit, obviously.
Yeah. Is that a brand? Bespoke?
Bespoke just means custom made or custom tailored. Okay.
Oh,
really.
Wow.
So like if you're familiar with...
I like things that are bespoke.
Like if you're familiar with Rolls-Royce.
Yes.
Rolls-Royce, the car company. They're almost 100% bespoke car company where you actually have to go to the factory and custom build your vehicle.
Oh.
So like from the interior lining to what the roof is like to the color, like you're completely tailored to you.
I feel like I could do that as like a wedding gift to my husband, like
A Rolls Royce?
No.
Yeah, I'm like,
girl.
She got money.
No,
okay.
I said a bespoke
suit. Okay, yeah.
Like I could be like, babe, but also like, who pays for the wedding dress?
The father of the bride?
The parents of the bride, I would assume.
Okay, okay, we'll figure it out. But maybe I could chip in for the bespoke so we'll figure it out. But I like this idea. Okay.
But men usually buy their own suits. I don't think. Well, sometimes I don't know how that goes, but you pay for their own stuff.
Someone once told me that the woman buys the man's ring.
Cufflinks too, as well.
Yeah, I've heard about you buy the cufflinks for the man. But the ring, I guess, since he bought you a ring.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
I guess. I mean,
but at that point. Do you mean like the wedding band or like his engagement ring? Because men get engagement rings. Like I have a friend, so like I have a friend, so she got proposed to. He gave her a rock, and so for him, he got like a diamond like all around his finger engagement band. Yeah. Oh. And so his wedding band will be like a stack on it.
No, I meant like the wedding band I've heard is the woman's responsibility, and I didn't know about the cufflinks, but that's good to know now.
Right? And you can get like cufflinks engraved and stuff. So it could be like Mi Amor or Mr. Whatever. Right. Yeah. Mr. Lola.
Mr. Lola.
You see?
No, but yes.
I would think that Mr. and Mrs. Lola. Yeah. I would love that for you.
That'd be cute.
Okay. Did you guys do any Black Friday shopping? Any good deals?
I did. Christmas gifts.
Okay. My Thanksgiving weekend was absolute doo-doo.
Not caca.
Yes, caca, doo-doo, both languages.
Oh.
But I work in healthcare, so I have mandatory holidays. Yeah. Okay. So Thanksgiving, I was at work. Black Friday, I was at work.
Oh, wow.
But I did have an upside. Because I work in behavioral health or like the psych ward, but they don't call it psych ward anymore. It's like a stigma type thing. Yeah. So I have my patients that are kind of out of their mind a little bit,
They need more help.
And we, it kind of sucks. You're in the hospital for Thanksgiving. So we did like a little Thanksgiving thing for them, and we went to, so we was like, oh, what are you thankful for? What are you thankful for? And then, excuse me, a lot of the patients was like, we're thankful for you, Daniel. And I was like...
And Daniel said, I'm not thankful for any of you.
No.
I want to be home.
I was like, they need to discharge all of you tonight. I was like, thank you, guys. And it was like, but they was like, nah, but for real, like, even though we're here at like probably one of the most lowest points of our life, it was like, you're very nice to us. Aww. And there's like a very big disconnect in medicine where medical professionals see them just as patients or just as numbers, and they don't connect like on the human side.
Oh yeah, the bedside manner for some of these people are just...
No, it's pretty bad. But I'm like, yo, if it was me in here and I'm like depressed or schizophrenic or whatever, or my mom was in here, I would want someone to treat them very well, so that's why I try to,
Aww.
That's very kind. Yeah. My Black Friday, I bought a TV, which was also very kind. I helped those who are being laid off in the tech industry.
Yes.
Right.
My purchase is keeping someone employed.
She's fueling the economy by going to a recession when it's slowed down.
I don't even have a place to put the TV, but I was like, this is such a great deal. Yeah. How could I not? So I'm sure that they'll be thanking me for keeping food on their tables for their families.
Yeah, they were like, did you see the TV?
Yeah.
This woman bought this.
Can you imagine?
Us.
This man brings his Christmas ham all because of Esther Charles.
Right.
Yeah, you know what? Honestly, you know what?
You're such a good person,
You're welcome.
Esther.
Wow.
You're welcome. I try to consider others, especially during the holiday season. I'm so serious.
Humanitarian.
I am. I genuinely do. And so I'm glad that we all three did our parts in society this holiday season.
Keeping the economy rolling.
Exactly. Right. Keeping people happy and well respected. Do your part, people.
And go shop.
Exactly.
Definitely.
Yeah. Don't worry about the recession.
God, that's why God bless you with money to shop and enjoy.
Yes. Right? And to be in relations with others. That's how it's supposed to go.
On your partner.
Exactly.
So today's episode, and this is stemming from a Friendsgiving conversation that we had the pleasure of having Daniel speak very passionately to us about.
Right.
And we're talking about the parameters. What should the expectations be for, I guess for relationship stages financially? And so I guess to ease into it, what is your financial personality? Like, are you stingy? Are you frugal? Are you a giver financially? Are you, like, how would you term yourself? Any of you?
For me, I feel like I fit into different parts of that, or I fit into many different boxes. So for me, I'm like a recovering spending addict.
Okay.
Like,
wow.
Like there was a point in time, no, for real.
Hi, my name is Lola. Hi, Lola.
Yeah.
Now there was a part in time like I burned checks, especially if I used to work more than 2 jobs actually. One was like per diem, but work multiple jobs. And if you're making a decent amount of money in both jobs, like I was like, I can burn a check and be fine. Like live off the other check until the next pay week. So I used to like get jobs where I get paid this week, and in my other job I get paid the other week. So even if I burn this check, I'm good because in the 5 days.
The terminology scares me. I burn this check.
Absolutely burn the check.
I remember the first time I started like making money. I got paid on a Friday. I looked at my account on a Monday and I said, "What the did I do?" I wanted to go back to the nail salon. I'm like, "Can you take these back?"
Right, and you're like going through your bank app, like,
maybe I can dispute this one.
Or not even. Do you like ever get your credit card statement and then you go through and add up the numbers yourself because it's not mapping to you?
And you're like, I could
call them and be like, are these purchases real? Like, is this me?
You want to call them up and be like, "Why did you stop me?
Right.
You don't know who I am."
Turn the card off. No, for real.
Like, yeah.
So I used to spend a lot, and like you said, I don't even know what I spend my money on. And it was one time me and my friend was going through like my bank statements for like your spending, and it was like 900, 800, 600, 300, 900, and it was like, and I'm just like, I don't even remember what these were for. Like I don't even remember. But now I'm in a space where I'm being more fiscally responsible with my my spending. Because you never know, like especially cars are expensive, like cars are breaking down. You gotta spend all this money on cars, or you might get sick. Like we don't take our health spending seriously. Like if I go to the hospital and I have to spend all this money, I need to make sure that I have that security.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, I do have a mindset of taking care of people. Okay. Like I give away things like all the time. I give away money all the time. I've like literally taken clothes off of my body and given it to people. Or if like there's a homeless guy, if I have $100 or $200, I don't mind giving it to those individuals. Yeah. So I'm a very giving person, but on the other side as well, I can be cheap sometimes. Where I'm just like, I don't.
Where do you find yourself being cheap?
Any money.
Where do you find yourself being cheap?
Where do I find myself being cheap? I think I find myself being cheap where there's like unnecessary, like when people ask me for money, sometimes just to ask, like if we don't have no relationship or anything like that, and I'm like, yeah, I can give you like $5 or actually one of the biggest thing, I don't know if you're like deep into like Christianity, with my offerings sometimes.
Oh,
I'm not even gonna lie, with my so like it's just like what 3 to 5%, something like that, and I'm like, I find the singles like my yeah, I find the singles of the coins, like, or like when people are like, when they do those like, when they're like, I don't want to call it begging, but when they're they got their sign and stuff.
Oh, on the highway ramp.
Yeah, and I'd be like $1 or $2 sometimes.
Okay. I feel like when they're strategic, like if you see me going into the grocery store.
Yeah,
young man, you know I have the money to spend. I got to feed myself first.
You want to know what happens? I kid you the fuck not. The Stop and Shop in Waterbury, Connecticut.
Yes.
It is the worst place.
Yes.
The one by the BJ's is what I'm referring to.
Oh.
Yes, the one by the BJ's.
I go by the one by G.
That place is a robbery. I don't go there either. Yeah. But one time, so this guy asked me if I had money, and my response is because I just don't carry cash. This is like a legit thing. I was like, I don't carry cash. Right. Homeboy took out a credit card reader. And then I was so stunned, I didn't know what to say. I was like, the goal. But then I was like, no, but literally. But then my brother was there, and he goes, if you have a credit card reader, you probably don't need $1. Like, you're good. And I was like, they're coming ready now. Yeah. I was like, are they just giving it out with like the Thanksgiving baskets? Like, here's a turkey, here's a credit card reader. I'm
pretty sure there's like a monthly maintenance fee too. So how are you maintaining
like, we take Visa, MasterCard, whatever.
Right. I'm like, bro.
But what are you, would you say, when you're in a relationship with somebody, or like you're wooing a woman, let's say a courtship. when it comes to that, how stingy or how freely are you spending? And that includes dates that you've planned. How quickly do you start giving out gifts? Do you give out gifts? Do you expect gifts? What do you want, Daniel? What do you want?
I actually don't expect gifts.
Okay.
A lot of the times. I think I don't know if that's like the male thing where we typically don't expect gifts. But for me, it depends on. I don't like. All right, I'm gonna preface it by saying I'm a person that does the most.
Okay.
A lot of times, like I'll overdo things without really realizing the ramifications of what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'll overspend on a gift, or I'll get a gift that's a little bit too far for where we are in a relationship. Like, I have a friend, and we've been working on our friendship, and I was like, yo, I'm about to get her like this custom music box. Like it's got engraving and
y'all are real nice
playing music
friends.
and stuff.
Lola is like, here is a pack of Crayola.
Right.
She's like, there are 24 views, 2 a month. Okay.
And I was speaking to one of my bros. He was like, that's a little bit over.
See, you know Jacques, I suppose.
Yes,
yeah.
I know
So
Jacques.
For those who don't know Jacques, one day he'll show up here on the podcast.
He will. He's very afraid.
Mm-hmm.
He's very afraid.
We're not going to do anything to you, Jacques. Come on down.
Just come on down.
Jacques is more like family to Esther at this point, but I'm a friend, but he's family to her. And Esther talks about like gifts, and I'm not saying he's like coming in here every day like gifts, but talks about how freely he buys gifts. And me as a woman, when I hear these things, I'm like, that could not be my man. I said, I would have to stop that death.
To elaborate, because Lola's taking it out of context. So what I have said is, and I don't know if, I'm not going to say Jacques is stingy, because he's not. I will say...
I'm not saying he's stingy, I'm just saying...
No, I'm saying, I was going to say he doesn't give gifts, but that would be wrong of me to say.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I would consider his gifts like that. Like, Jacques, for example, he brings food all the time. He likes to cook.
Under my reign.
So no, but my thing is he likes to cook. So it's more like we're his guinea pigs, because he's also giving us food that will physically make you ill. Like it's not like a gift; he's test driving it. You see what I'm saying? So that's one thing. Like one time he gave us chocolate chip cookies. They were so salty.
I'm not talking about the food, Esther.
Okay, so and then the other time that Lola's talking about is one time I'm a purse gal. I'm a big purse gal, right? And so there was one year I was on the hunt for this limited edition purse. And so I had shown everyone a picture, and I was like, if you see it,
was it Chanel?
Let me know. No, it was Coach.
Oh, it's Coach. Okay.
You know,
designer. That's right.
Chanel was higher. Okay, but
Chanel, you buy Chanel.
Right. Thank you. It was a Coach bag, so very reasonable in the realm of designer. For what we call it.
Coach
right.
Is nice.
It's nice, you know. So anyway, he works, he's an environmental engineer. So he works in this area where there's this outlet available. So he was just strolling through one day and he saw the bag in the window. So he went back on the WhatsApp group, because y'all know I'm on the WhatsApp. He was like, this is the picture. He bought the bag. So then when he came back, he was like, here's the bag. But I gave him the money for the bag. I was never going to be like he was like, I know you said you wanted it. And lo and behold, it was the last one in the outlet as well.
Well, you did not specify about you paid him back.
I paid him back. Why would I well, if he gave me a purse, I would take the purse.
Okay,
like,
but it was, I thought, I thought he was just buying you purses.
No, I don't have men's just buying me purses. That's crazy.
That's what I thought would have happened.
No.
Can I ask you a question, though?
Yeah.
Do you think that's like a red flag for a guy to behave like that?
In friendship.
To a friend, or you would consider
a woman friend?
Yeah.
Lola doesn't like that. She's very possessive.
I mean, how would you feel like if you were with a woman, she started cooking for another man? Or started buying him gifts?
Are you and Jacques together?
No.
I was like, my bad, Jacques. I ain't trying to throw you on
like
that. Right.
No. I'm just saying. Could you imagine?
No, just like normal friends. Like, despite if he has like a girlfriend or not.
Then I would never be. I'm like, in my mind, that's not my. Because I think about, there was this guy who just got a divorce not too long ago. Oh my goodness, it was on the Shade Room. He was married for like 25 years.
Okay.
To a woman. It was an RB guy. I forgot what his name is.
Is it Dr. Dre?
No. It was somebody else. He was married for 25 years. He got a divorce last year. The wife filed for divorce. And now he's engaged to his best friend of 45 years. They have been best friends their whole entire lives. That's what those red flags. It screams the minute we're over.
That kind of makes sense for something. not to cut you off, but we were at the dinner table for Friendsgiving, right? And they was like, "What are you thankful for?" And I'm thankful for this, I'm thankful for that. And I was like, I'm thankful for my best friend of 20 years. And everybody was like, what?
All the women were like,
all the women were like, what? Who? Who's this best friend? What's her name? Show me a picture. How long you been friends? And I'm just like,
and then he goes, wait, and then at first he was like, why? Why does everyone care? He was like, she's married. And everybody was like, oh.
It was like, oh, you stepping on their marriage? Like, what are you doing?
I didn't say that. I was like, I completely understood.
I mean.
But I was like,
Daniel, that's murky territory. But I understand. I don't think you meant any harm by that.
Oh, no.
But Lola said, if that was my man, absolutely, you ain't got no friend.
No best friend. I'm your best friend.
I'm your best friend. After Jesus.
Right.
But
it's me.
There was what could... never mind. Anyways.
Go ahead. Share your thoughts.
Yeah.
If you have a best friend who's a girl.
Yes.
And you're telling her your business.
Right.
What's the difference between what you tell your best friend and you tell your wife?
You can definitely set boundaries on the information you give. Just like my best friend is married. She's been married for some time now, and I knew her husband before I knew her, and though we're all friends and I'm able to share intimate stuff with my best friend and she's able to share intimate stuff with me, she doesn't. We don't talk about her household at all.
Okay.
Like if there's some issues that she'll need, she might throw a hypothetically or a subliminal in there, but she doesn't speak on her husband or her marriage because that's a serious boundary.
That's a good boundary.
No,
that's a serious boundary.
I think that's what's important.
Here's a follow-up question: do you buy her very expensive gifts? Just give me yes.
It gives me
She definitely speaks to her husband on some things. I don't as frequent as I used to, but she'll ask sometimes.
Okay.
Would I go out of my way and buy her like very expensive things? Not in an abundance where it becomes uncomfortable or inappropriate, but where he can be like, oh, okay, I understand that. That's cool.
But so it's under his green
right, and I keep that respect there. So there's one point, she's a musician as well. They're both musicians, and she wanted a bass guitar for her birthday. And she was like, hey, best friend, I want this bass. We've been looking at, some... And I was like, yeah, I can... And she was like, even if you don't buy it, or even if you could just give me a portion of it, so that it's not, like, OD. Mm-hmm. But I was like, but being that we all understand our relationship and the boundaries of our relationship, that's not stepping on any toes if I bought that for her.
Yeah.
Okay. So then,
here's buying, Cartier bracelets, because that'd be different.
Yeah.
Then I'd be like, okay, Daniel, you need to relax. You're gonna ruin the happy home. your mistress.
But and we don't want, aside from showering your best friend with gifts, when it comes to women in particular, because this was the conversation that sparked it at Friendsgiving, we were talking about first dates, for example, right?
Yeah,
and we're all at this point, we're all in our late 20s. Like we're closer to 30 than we are to 20.
Right.
We're very close to 30 now.
Some of us closer than others, but
scary. It's very
Listen, but we're adults. We're young adults.
We're the new adults.
We're the new adults.
We're the new
Isn't that
adults,
crazy?
right?
But with the new adults comes new parameters for how we date and stuff, right?
Right.
So we were talking about first date etiquette, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do you approach that? And I was saying at this point in my life, at 27 years old, if you ask me out on a date and you don't pay for that first date, it's noted, and we will likely not be going on a second date.
Sure.
And I'm like, and Daniel was like, well, why? You all just want a free meal, yada, yada, yada.
Relax.
And I was like, at 20, right.
I don't know if that was my tone.
What? That was the tone. He almost swung on me with a turkey leg. It was crazy.
We are not out here whoring ourselves out for some Chili's.
Right. And that's the thing. And y'all be taking people to the Chili's, the McDonald's.
The Chili's
and then y'all say, the Chili's is not bad. I'm not gonna
They got some nice selections in there.
But okay, who are you going out with that you think is so starving? They're like, yes, Daniel, take me now.
For the split 2 for Chili's.
And I won't take you. I won't be like, oh, let's go out and take you to Chili's. That's kind of OD.
But I've been taken to a Chili's before.
This is what I said to at the table.
Yeah.
I was like, it's very seldom that we meet wholesome women like yourselves, where you guys are not. But I've had women like expressed to me that a lot of women actually do go on dates for free meals. Like, it does happen.
But it's also like, if I express myself, I'm like, well, a lot of men are out here going on dates hoping for some pussy.
That's true, but it's true.
It's actually so funny.
It is 100% true.
Wow!
So
he exposed his people.
But it's the truth. Actually, Juju, who's our friend who hosted the Friendsgiving, actually sent a reel, and it was a man who paid for dinner. And the girl was like, "Okay, thanks. This has been lovely or whatever." But she was recording because she was like, "I feel like it's about to get creepy. The whole date was creepy, whatever."
Yeah.
She goes, "I'll pay for the meal." He goes, "No. I got you. And she goes, "Okay, well, thank you so much. It's been wonderful. Well, I'm gonna go now." He was like, "Oh, I'll walk you to your room." And she's like, "No, you know what? Like, we're not even allowed to have people in the rooms like that." And he's like, "Oh, I get it. Yeah. I'm a free meal." And she was like, "Well, why would you assume we have to go back to our room, right? In order, after paying for the meal?" She was like, she's like, "I can pay for the meal if you expect something after this." And he's like, "No, this is what y'all do." And I'm like, what are y'all talking about? Y'all think a cheeseburger is worth entering the Garden of Eden?
Like, I'm so, like, confused and confused. I am confusion.
Yes, talk to me.
In this day and age where, non-committal sex is so readily available.
Right.
So, if y'all go on a date, why, like, in my mind, then it's not for that. Like, it is a courtship at this point. You are meeting me, I am meeting you. We're gonna see if this is a possibility. And in a courtship, there are certain things that should happen. Certain people are expected to pay and all that other stuff. But, like, at 28 years old, I'm gonna say something right. Well, I'm almost 28. I don't care what kind of sushi, if it's from Nobu. If I don't want to spend time with you, no meal is that great. For me to be putting up with someone I don't like.
Right.
You have to be starving for, like, to death. To death.
And
to say yes to a man.
One thing about that rice, I'm like, I've rethought this plan, and I'm no longer comfortable.
After you wrap it up to go, don't even worry about it, Daniel. I'll see you when I see you, and I'll pay at the front. Like, I believe that there are people like that, but I wonder, are they younger ladies under the age of 22? Are they in college eating ramen noodles, and then, that could be. But, like, it's weird to me because men also complain about, like, the independent woman. Like, I could do bad for myself. So obviously that woman has money. If she goes out with you, it's not because she needs a meal.
Well, we're not talking about those women. We all actually, and I don't. If my friend is watching this, I don't mean to expose you. We had like a round table talk. We were talking about similar stuff to this effect, and a lot of women was like, yeah, sometimes I went on dates just to get a meal, or I went on dates.
Was it to get a meal or to get experience?
No, this is verbatim what she said.
Okay.
She said, or just to not to have a good time, but to how does she explain it? To feel like a lot of women want to feel
desired.
Right. So it gives that false sense of, well, it's not a false sense. It gives that feeling, oh, he's taking me out. Like it's that I'm wanted feeling. Kind of. So a lot of women, well, some women, we'll just say some women, go on these dates for that feeling of, oh, I'm wanted, or I'm being taken out, I'm being wined and dined, and so on and so forth. But they don't like readily express that I'm not necessarily interested in you. So in the guy's mind is like, oh yeah, she's feeling me, like she's allowing me to, she's allowing me to take her out. There must be something more than that. And then at the end of the day, she's ghosting you, she don't talk to you, all of a sudden you're a bum somehow.
So then do you feel like you're hesitant to pay for dates now because you feel like you can be at the other end of, oh, I'm just here for a good time or whatever? Is that what it is? Because
a lot of the times, yeah.
But do you know, okay, and this is just my personal, because men are saying things that you're saying, I'm doing things differently because I also then have to set the bar low. But then women talk about like how that's really like cheap to just ask for a coffee date. Because if we need to do like low investment, then that's fine. But that means low investment everywhere. Like,
but here, I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. Oh, you can actually finish your point.
No, but so I hear what you're saying, but then that also changes what women like. That's why you're gonna get women who are like, no, you cannot pick me up at my house. I will meet you there, and you will not get maybe that like if. I'm not saying that a sit-down dinner is the best way to have a first date or whatever, but like, if I'm like, yeah, sure, meet me at 2 o'clock for a cup of coffee, it's going to keep it casual, and so and maybe that's just the face of how dating is going to be.
But you know what is actually ruining the dating experience, or what people consider dating, is there's too much expectations and too much entitlement. Because just like you said, a cup of coffee, that is the original date. If you think about it, that's the original first date. No, think about it.
Dinner is
when you meet. No. When a guy meets a girl, and you see this all in cinema, and they was like, "Oh, can I take you out for a cup of coffee?" Or can I take you out for a drink? So like that's why even speed dating is like weird, because you go into it with this like an expectation, and there's so much pressure, and it's like I have to like prove myself
in 6 minutes
to be worthy.
Ironically, I just went on a speed dating thing like a week ago. But go ahead.
And that's why speed dating is like weird. I've only done one, like as like a spontaneous thing with a friend. It was like the weirdest experience like ever, because you're like vibing. It's like, all right, next. It's like, all right, whatever, and you move on to the next person. But in the beginning, when you take someone out on like, so you have like your first date, or like, I don't know, what do you consider like a date though? Like a date.
So for me, I like a real date is like, let's go out somewhere. Like whether we're doing something, and I do better when we're doing something because I'm naturally competitive. So it's like that fun side, you know what I'm saying? Or like dinner. I'm not crazy about dinner, because if I'm here to eat, I'm here to eat. Like we don't have to talk before or after dinner. Right. I'm eating. That's why we're here. So I expect that, right? So usually like that's what I expect for a first date, but I also don't mind if you're like low investment if we do the coffee date. I don't mind that, right? My problem is that when you want it to be more than that, you're like, let's go to dinner, or let's do whatever, right? And then I get there and you're like, let's go splitsies, let's go Dutch. And let me tell you why. It's not because I'm here for your money, right? It makes an impression. And like my financial personality is like, I feel like I'm pretty fair. Like the last few dates I went on, like with this one guy consistently, he paid for the first one, I paid for the second one. Like I don't mind us going back and forth. I'm not trying to rob you, right? But like for me, it sets a precedent. It sets a tone, especially the way that you deliver that sentence, right? Of how we're gonna split it or whatever. Like it's awkward. You know what I'm saying? Like or it gets a little rude, or it's like, and I'm like, respectfully, at your big 20-something plus age, I'm like, be employed or stay home. Like, I'm personally, to the point at which, my question is, why go out on dates when y'all can't even afford to take yourselves out? Like, for example, like, you know how girls go out to brunch, and sometimes your girl will be like, oh, I got brunch today, I'll cover brunch. Love that. You know what I'm saying? You're in a group of men, like, I know men who will be on Instagram like, this is why I hate going out with these men, da-da-da. And that's a nice way of them saying it. Be like, y'all out here broke playing, like, you know, playing games, like, I gotta cover for you, da-da-da-da. So it's not even just an us thing. So, like,
when men, well, I don't know all men, a lot of times when men go out, unless they got the pockets to burn, like for everybody's food, a lot of times typically
listen,
I don't pay for the whole table.
I don't expect,
and if I do pay for the whole table, best believe people are cash apping me back my funds. Like, and I've had an experience where, and I know everybody be like, oh, let's split it, or if you don't split it, you're broke, whatever, blah, blah, blah.
I don't believe
where
that.
It was like 10 of us at a table. We went out to eat this nice spot. Like, spot is nice, right? Like, we dressed up to the nines, like, we look good.
You and your boys, or like a mixed crowd?
Mixed crowd.
Okay.
Right? And I'm not going to say who it was. I'm not going to say...
No, we can infer.
I'm not going to say who they were or what their gender was.
Okay, we know.
It was the women. Nah. That's a little Kanye reference. Anyway, so we're at this table, and I don't know how, like, mad bottles accumulated on this table. And
girls get thirsty.
These bottles only got a few sips out of them. Like, the bottles ain't even sufficiently sipped on. Like, right? And there's mad plates of unfinished food, and and people are ordering for that pleasure of being able to order at a fancy place. And I'm just looking at the table like, I have to look at the waiters like, you remember what I had, right? Because this is crazy. crazy.
Yeah, and like, how many ways can you split this check? Because some places can only do
2 or 3 ways. And
yeah,
and that's fair. I think that part, like, if I don't expect you to pay for the whole table, and that's not what I meant to infer. But I meant like at dinner, on a date, your first date, you invite someone out to a nice restaurant, etc. Like, I don't think it's crazy to assume you're going to pay for a woman.
No.
Is that entitled? Is that the entitlement that you're talking about?
A little bit, but let me just delve a little deeper. And I'm gonna preface it by asking a question. Is there a big difference between going on a date and me saying, "Hey, Lola, let's oh, you want to go out this weekend? You want to you want to go to Texas Roadhouse? I love Texas Roadhouse.
You've mentioned that several times.
If you want to go where you want to go out this weekend? Is that me asking you on a date?
If there's romantic intent, that's where it differentiates, right? If we're buddies, right? If you invite me to the Texas Roadhouse, I'm gonna say no. Let me be clear. I don't like the Texas Roadhouse.
They got some good bread.
Y'all on this bread.
Okay. I go for the ribs.
Oh,
I'm a rib connoisseur.
The only rib I've ever had was at Margaret's cousin's house, Lala Day. Lala Day, shout out to you because you busted my mouth clean open with them ribs. That was a really crazy way to say that.
I was gonna say pause. I was gonna pause on that one.
But
you and I was like,
Lola's like, I keep telling
her. She said that with confidence. I was like, she added the ribs on the end, so
with the ribs. He's a very, very good grill master. But my thing is like, how is that entitled? Is my thing, and I say with romantic intent, because the best way I know how to phrase it is when you are asking me out on the date, you are asking me to audition for the role of boyfriend, i.e. provider, i.e. potential husband, i.e. these things, right? Would you not want to make your best first impression in that audition, if you will? You know what I'm saying? By being like, I'll pay for that. And that's not me being like, oh, like, I need this, that, and the third thing, but it's like, that to me is a good impression to leave on someone.
Definitely. No? If we're dating, like, for realsies, like I like you, like, not even like the regular like I like you.
Yeah.
A real man, and not even just a real man, a guy, we're just gonna say a guy.
Who's truly interested. Right,
that's truly interested in you, not trying to bag you up or try to get a body or what. He's truly interested in you. He's going, and men typically prefer to pay a lot of the times, but it's
maybe I'm running into the wrong crowd.
It is true because innately men are providers, and we want to take care of the women in our lives, in our circles. But to enter that space as if you're owed this thing, that's what kind of like it's owed to you, like.
I expect it. Like, how do I explain this? If I sneeze, am I owed a God bless you? No, I'm not.
Right.
But I expect it. And I will be disappointed if I don't get one.
And it makes me look at you different. And it goes, and not that I'm like, you horrible person. For example, I went out with a guy. It's been like 2 years now because it was right before the pandemic. And we went go-karting because we decided we were going to go there. Before the day, he was like, yeah, I have to go get a haircut. So I know he had gotten a haircut. He showed up. And so I got there first, and then he texted me when he parked, like, oh, just by the way, I left my wallet. And I was like, oh, Lord. And so when we got there, he was like, oh, do you think I could just cash app you the funds and you just pay for whatever it is? And so I'm thinking, and this again is me expecting, he asked me out, what I wanted to do, gave him ideas. We ended up picking this place. He kind of decided he wanted to go go-karting, so he's interested. It came out to a total of $44.50. And so I'm about to hand over my debit card. I'm like, oh, just like cash out me the money. And discernment. I said, in my heart, he's going to give me exactly half. I got a little notification, $22.25. And so I said, okay, I see what time we're on. And so did I go, you should pay for the whole entire day? No, but I was like, okay, so.
Noted.
Pete. And so when he asked me out again, and he was like, oh, we could do this. And I was like, yeah. And I was being a little shysty. I was like, well, I don't get paid until another 2 weeks. And just to be like, he was like, what does that have to do with me taking you out to dinner? And I was like, well,
I can assume I'm paying myself.
I said, I thought we're just out here paying for ourselves. And he was like, no, I'm not like that, after he had just taken me.
And that's the part, right?
And I think this is what women are complaining about, is that you feel like I gotta prove to you that I'm worth a meal. And and I think sometimes men will hear things on TikTok, like a woman going, I expect this, and they're like, well, you're not even cute enough to be taken to this hibachi spot. You're lucky if I even take you to a Chili's. So it equates to, I'm willing to spend more money if you're prettier, if I'm willing to invest more. If I think you're worth it, versus like, oh, if I'm spending time with you, which this was weird to me. I'm not spending time if I don't think you're worth it. So why are you spending time with me if you don't think I'm worth it? And I understand some people are just looking for casual sex, but you don't even have to go on dates to do that. So if you ask me out and you have said, okay, I kind of like you, whether you're on the 1 on the Richter scale and the 8 being whatever the biggest, if we have indicated we like each other, the bare minimum, okay, wherever we're going, you should spot the bill. Definitely. The same way that my responsibility afterwards is if I'm not interested, not to ghost you. Or not to, like, be like, oh, well, I hope you brought your wallet because I'm not paying for this. Because you're responsible for that.
Right. We get that a lot, though. And even now, like, sometimes...
women saying you're going to pay for this?
Yeah, but with that feeling of entitlement, like, oh, yeah, no, you're the man. You're supposed to. Or I'm not paying for this. And then they got the audacity to bring their girlfriend too, and I'm paying for it.
And that's the thing. I've never seen, and that's also the thing.
That doesn't happen. That doesn't happen a lot.
Right. So let's do some role play. Where you and I are on a date, the check comes, and you've had women go, well, Daniel, it's the end of the night and the check is here, and I hope you understand, I'm not taking out my wallet.
No woman even says that. They do the
camera.
I don't think these
go, well, what you gonna do?
No, they don't vocalize it like that, but it's all like if I was to say, oh, we splitting, or like.
But Daniel, there you go. Why would you even lead with that? Why would you lead with that, Daniel?
But
Daniel.
What kind of date? All right, what kind of date is this? Is this dating for realsies?
But why are you? Okay.
What do you mean for realsies? No. If you ask a woman out, what is a real date?
Yo, my God. What is a fake date?
Because when you're getting to know anyone, anytime invested is a date. I think that's the misunderstanding.
Exactly. That's why I had asked the question. Okay. How do you differentiate if it's me and you kicking it and it's me and you dating?
Daniel,
bro, if there is a
Daniel.
Because I have times where even if we go to Dunkin' Donuts.
No, that's not it.
I'm not saying that's a date. But if I say, yo, we're going out to eat or we're going to stop at this food spot, they automatically assume because you're a man that you have to pay for it.
Are you a man with romantic intent? That is the difference.
It happens both times.
Okay, what we're talking about, ladies you like, Daniel. Okay, you are telling me that when you go on a date with the lady that you're like, I like this lady, you go, at the end, we splitting?
No, I won't say that.
So you never ask a woman that you're actually interested in?
I've never asked that. Never.
Oh,
but
here's the women that you're uninterested in.
No, I don't ask that. Okay. But I can guarantee if I'm not interested in you and you're just expecting me to pay every single time,
okay, but if you're not interested in her, why are you on a dinner date with her?
But it's not though.
Okay, but why?
To them, a lot of the time
Daniel.
Right.
Okay.
Not because we're going out.
Okay, confused.
Doesn't mean that it's a date.
I'm confused. Okay, Daniel.
I think that's where we're having a misunderstanding.
Right. So not because we go or not because me and you. Like if I say, hey Lola, like let's say after we wrap up, I was like, yo Lola, I feel like you're pretty cool. You want to hang out, and then we go out.
I would ask you, is that a date? And then if you're like, no, it's not. But then you said no, and then we would go and I would pay.
You have the conscience to ask that. A lot of times we go out, you're already assuming that this man is taking me on a date, and in my head I'm like, no, this is not a date, dear.
Maybe this.
He said, dear.
Dear, this is not a date.
It's not a date, dear.
It's not a date.
I have friends,
right,
and they're generally women,
right.
I think most women, and there are some exceptions, are friends with mostly women. Mm-hmm. If you ask me out to dinner, it gotta be a date. And then I'd be like, okay, Daniel, well, you can go to lunch by yourself. I'll go home. We can be Instagram friends.
That is the confusion.
Okay, and then
that's where the confusion
But then that lies on you. Why are you inviting people to dinner? To be friends.
I can't eat.
Why you gotta put that in?
We can't eat.
Listen, but here's the thing, because I don't even run on railroad off the topic. I think we mean specifically romantic. And so I think in the romantic stage, right? Like why is it entitlement for a woman to think a man would be expected to pay for a date? It seems like yes, to some extent, right?
To some extent, not completely. I mean, it does speak on very traditional standards. And to be honest, you know what this argument for me and why I've started thinking about it a lot is like where it comes from, where women are like, I don't want to say hyper independent because you should be self-sufficient.
Yeah.
But where they're like the extremist feminists, where it's like, oh, we don't need men, we're this and that, I was like, all right, if that's the case, you want equality, you want to be treated as a man, and you want all these, not you.
I'm just saying,
and you
want
all these extreme things.
I've never seen a feminist propaganda. Treat us like the men.
Right.
I'm never
telling you, it is.
Okay, a lot of men have perceived it this way, yes.
Yeah, maybe I'm perceiving it wrong. But my thing is, you can't hold on to these ideologies and then want it to be treated in the traditional sense, or want it to be catered to in the traditional sense.
A lot of men I know have said this. They're like, you can't have it both ways, right?
Can I just say this?
Yes.
I do believe that there are extremists in any form, so that I'm assuming there's extremist women, especially when it comes to dating politics. But someone saying, in the society that we live in, treat me as an equal. If you are taking taxes out my check, Uncle Sam, you best believe you're going to give me all the rights that you give the men folk. That has nothing to do, the same way we talk about, like, the government has no business in your bedroom. What I would want in society and how I would want to be treated in the workplace or in a group setting has nothing to do with how I would want my relationship to be. Now, there are certain things, like, back in the 60s, a woman probably couldn't open up a credit card unless she had her husband. Right. Or somebody who was a male. And that's something that we could talk about. But generally speaking, how I'm treated at work is not how I'm treated at home. There are certain dynamics that I have with family members, which means it's different, right? So I can be hyper independent at work, not just use that term. And then I might be at home, like, I want to be submissive. Where, sir, here's your hot meal, but pay the mortgage. Like,
but even like, not to cut you off, even that what you said is, which is natural submission. Okay. Even that is villainized and made like toxic within certain sects of the feminist movement. Okay. That's why I said you have true feminists or feminists in just regular ideology, and then you have the ones that are extreme and go off the rails and they do all this crazy stuff.
I guess, and I can understand what you're saying, but I guess why it's seeming like it's tit for tat almost.
Yeah, it's like, how dare you want these rights,
right, and not right.
Yeah.
Like, and that's what it seems to be for a lot of men. But my issue is that, like, I think that we should approach dating on a one-to-one basis, right? Yeah. Like, how we interact. Like, let's see where it goes.
But also,
right?
even culturally, I think there are certain things, like, I would love to shatter all the glass ceilings, right? But there are certain things that I know in my life that I want. If I want children, while I do want a man that's hands-on, I know for a fact the responsibility of bearing those children and taking care of them, most of it's going to land on me. There's a reason why schools call their mothers first before they call their dads, right? And so I could be somebody who's like, I like being independent. I understand because of my gender, there's certain societal norms that will accompany that gender. If I had the same thing with men, that doesn't mean that I'm cherry-picking, oh, I only want equality when it's cool, and I don't want it when I don't. That part. I understand.
Or when you benefit from it.
But here's the thing. That goes with everything. I understand that maybe my benefit is that I don't have to pay for dates. But I also know that the thing I have to worry about is if I'm out here dating multiple men, I look like I'm a whore. And that depreciates my value, so which means if I'm looking for a husband, that might decrease the likelihood of me finding one.
And even,
I'm just saying that, I'm just playing. The point being is, it's a balancing act with both people.
Definitely.
And I don't think that somebody saying like, oh, if you want me to pay for a meal, you can also believe these other like, those things can can coexist.
These ideas can coexist.
Right.
Okay, so fair. To give you the opportunity though, because you have been talking about, like when on your experience how you've been played for a meal or for. Here's my thing, and I know this to be the truth, but this is not my experience as a woman. I'm like, what is the percentage of women who are asking y'all to pay rent, buy the bags, buy the shoes, what is the percentage of this?
The
because
percentage
I'm like,
is very high.
Is it? Is it very high, or does Instagram make it look like it's high?
What have you done for me lately? I don't want no scrubs. Women are not women. Yeah. And it's even like that in the mainstream media where women are like, well, if you want me, you're going to have to take care of these things, even on the boyfriend-girlfriend level. And even that, I was like, as your boyfriend, I'm not paying your rent. I'm not paying your car note. And they was like, oh, well, you're not a real man. If you're broke, just say that. I don't have that level of responsibility to you to be doing these things.
No.
Or they was like, oh, because you're my boyfriend, you have to pay for my nails. You have to pay for my hair. You have to. And I'm like, that's OD. And like, when did that become my responsibility?
When did that become the norm? Fair.
Right.
Okay. So then what is the norm, do you think? Like, just for the dating stage. The getting to know you stage, even.
The getting to know you stage? Alright, so first and foremost, we gotta cut out hanging out as dates.
Yeah, I don't believe
that's also the thing. At our
dating.
big age, we can't be hanging out for dates.
Stop. No.
Not just hanging. I don't mean hanging out for dates, but confusing hanging out for dating.
No, I'm agreement with that.
Okay.
I'm that's not your boyfriend. Like, y'all ain't in a court.
Right. So let's say Lola. I'm interested in Lola, right? I'm not really an approach you kind of guy. You know, that's not my style.
That's also a thing. Like, women approaching y'all stop happening.
That's
like,
not my style.
What does a girl have to do to be approached, for the love of God?
What does a girl have to do to be approached?
That's a whole different...
that's a different... That's going to lead us somewhere else.
I have tactics, but...
Yeah, they got the tactics, but let's say I'm interested. The first thing, I'm just going to try to get in contact with you and see how consistently I can talk to you before we hang out, right? So if I'm texting you, and a lot of times, like, a guy gets a girl's number, I'm gonna text you tonight. Yeah. Like, we text consistently for like a good 2 weeks, and I'm like, yo, what do you do? Like, what do you get into? Like, what do you do in your free time? Oh, I like this, I like blah, blah, blah. And I'm gauging, like, okay, so she might be into the arts a little bit. I'm like, yo, you like museums? Because I know museums ain't even really that expensive, but museums are dope. I love museums. Yeah. And I was like, yo, we should, there's a spot here. We should hit it. Like, we should go, right? In that small, we should go to this thing, it might come off as a date. But
is it not?
Not necessarily.
So, Daniel, you out here confusing the lady folks then. That's like...
I mean, guys should be more vocal on...
Because I could not imagine myself inviting a man who I don't have, like, established, like, family friendship thing going on already, that I just introduced to my life. Like, hey, you should come out with me unless I had some motives.
Or
Daniel,
this and this.
I'm not going to do this. I don't got male friends. I don't believe in that nonsense.
Why?
I don't think there's anything wrong with men. I just don't find their comfort. Like, their company is not the company that I search for. Like, when I do things that I enjoy, and most of my friends are women, I just enjoy it. I appreciate their company more. I don't think that it's me being something a man can't tell me what to do. But there are certain things as a woman, a man's not going to relate to me as much as the way... Right. Vice versa. Like, I don't know what it's like to be a man, so I can't give you advice. We can give each other general advice, but it's not something that I look for. Like, I'm not in the search of male friendship companionship. So, that's why I'm confused. I'm like, if a man's like, let's go out to dinner, I'm going to be like, oh, you interested? And I will ask. Because I'm not in the business of making friends.
So she's like, we're not hanging out. We're going on dates.
Like,
that's the intention.
Like, and I guess I don't. And so maybe there are women like me who mostly don't have a bunch of male friends. It might be different for Esther because she has male friends, and that might be a little bit more confusing. But I wonder how many of those women that you've been asking out to, like, grab lunch have a bunch of male friends. Because if they don't have a lot, it seems like you're asking them out on a date.
That could be where the...
Food for thought.
But even so, I even feel like, so here's the question. So, like, if you go on a date, like a date, like, these are intentional dates that you are going on. At what point do you expect, like, the woman to pay? Like, because I know some traditional women who are like, oh, I'm not paying for a date, period.
Yeah. A lot of times, I don't expect you to pay. I will pay for it. But it's at least giving me the courtesy that we're on equal plane. Not that I'm above you as a man or you're below me as a woman or above me as a woman, but the fact that you have that courtesy to say, oh, you want me to grab this? For men, you just saying that is enough. Like, you getting a ring tonight. Like, not tonight.
I know some brothers. I'll give them time while I figure through all 28 pockets of the purse. They'll be like, go ahead, find this, sweetheart.
Like, oh, but I mean, women can use that to discern different guys as well. But, or maybe I'm just speaking for me, not all men, but for most of the real dudes that are about it. I'm showing that courtesy. She's like, oh, you want me to get something, or you want me to get the tip? Oh, okay. So she's conscious. She's mindful. She's not just.
Yeah.
So it kind of, for us, it kind of gauges that. All right, she's a little serious in here. She has like some stake. She has some stake in it. You know what I mean?
Learned to say. I don't want anyone who's a feminist to be upset. I've been mindful to say thank you when the man pays.
Absolutely.
Like, and not that
that's dope.
Not that I was like, thanks for doing that. Like, I wasn't doing condescending. It's just like something. It's also a very awkward situation. I'm not gonna try to say that it's the worst thing in the world to have someone pay for you, but it is like, for me, it's like a weird interaction.
Because sometimes it feels like they might expect something or
you're
whatever.
Just saying that, and it's like also like it's just like a weird, because like you don't know. Men are very hard for me to read, so I'm just like, I don't know if you're doing this because you like me and you're gonna talk to me tomorrow, or you're just doing this for like protocol, but we never gonna talk. But yeah, it's a very uncomfortable situation until afterwards when you've decided what it is. It's. I've been going to the bathroom, and I know this is wrong of me. And
when the check comes,
no. Actually, thank God for contactless like pay things or stuff. Like, I'll just go to the bathroom, and when I come back, the bill is paid, and I'll be like, oh, thank you. And it's avoid the awkward. Like, because I will be like, oh, how do you want to do? I think that's the responsibility of a woman to be like, how would you like to do this? And now,
yeah, 2022,
I'll be like, so how do you want to do this? But and it's not that I was doing it on purpose. I just have been going to the bathroom, and when I come back, the bill has been paid.
I don't do the bathroom thing. You actually use the bathroom.
Oh, I
have
to use the bathroom right now.
Yes.
But I'm holding.
I'm so proud of you. Yeah, no, I'll sit there and I'll ask. I'll be like, so
what do
I put my card down? Do you put your card down?
Oh, I don't say that.
It's 100% a test. I'll phrase it in different ways.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
I just simply ask him, how do you want to do this?
You know what I love, though? I love when men take the initiative. Oh my God, the negotiation. Dude, I've had people go 70-30, like 60-40.
Wow,
and I'm like,
at that rate, just tell me 50-50. Like, why would you do that?
Well, they'll be like, I'll take 70, you take 30. But I'm like, and here's my thing, we gotta set budgets for these things, because if you're not spending a certain amount, I'm like, for $50, 70-30, I don't know, playa. I'll give you $20 if you need $20.
Like, you got that.
You're right.
I will give men this. I also don't think the first date I should expect, like, I'm not gonna go order lobster. Like, I'm not a crazy.
Right. Well, there are women who do that, but I understand.
And so I could imagine that you might have the anticipation to already pay for me, and you might have been like, okay, I'm gonna save this money right here for this and that. It's allocated, and then homegirl's like, actually, I want the ribs.
But you know what? I think that, and this is my advice to men.
That's the saying in Spanish. Like, I don't know how to say it.
What was that?
Tú no te la puedes lucir. Like, to lucir is like when you have gone above it, like, te la estás luciendo.
Don't do the most, kind of.
Yeah, like, don't do the, like, you, not to be, like, humble and, like, order the tomato soup, but, like, also, you know, if I'm expecting you to pay, I'm not also trying to break your wallet.
So,
some of it might.
No, and be considerate, but I think this is a great part for men. You know how, like, women will be like, you'll ask women out and be like, where do you want to go? This is a great part for y'all to be like, here's this restaurant. No, but here's this restaurant. A lot of people don't, though. Because men will be like, oh, okay, like, I would really like to take you out. Like, where would you like to go? Then I'll say, I don't know, Carmine's in Manhattan, and you know they serve family style, so I'm going to take something to go, because y'all know I can eat. I'm like, then you want to be like, I didn't plan for this. Look at the menu. Like, is it so hard to look at the menu and be like, so this is the average price. Yeah. I can assume she'll spend 40. I'll spend 40. Tip whatever. Also, brace for that.
Plan these dates.
Plan for these things.
I would say
if they're date.
If it's a date, but yes, plan for them. Look in advance.
Oh, Daniel.
I don't think. And then, yes, I think it's up to the women to ask, how do you want to do this? Whatever. Be respectful, because I get it. You don't want a woman to be like, all right, peace. Like, I need to pay a $200 meal or whatever, right?
See, are people paying $200?
I don't think so. Unless y'all are flat.
Wow.
Y'all are taking out some bad girls. Go ahead, girls.
Listen, I'm about to switch teams. It's like, if people are getting $200 meals.
I have to ask the waiter, like, yo, y'all take payment plans? I'm like,
oh my God.
Y'all
do Florida up in here?
A lot of them.
Klarna has saved a lot of us through this Black Friday.
This is a technique that I use if I'm for real or I want to see what this girl's about. I offer two places, right? I offer a range. So I was like, I was like, like if they don't mind traveling or if I gotta pick them, whatever. I was like, yo, there's some good spots out in West Hartford. West Hartford, Glastonbury.
Oh, West Hartford.
Yeah,
got
good
some,
areas. Good areas.
Some, you know what I mean? You know the areas, right?
Blueback Square is
So I was Blueback Square, the Russells out, not to plug them or whatever. Get your money for the advertisement.
Yeah.
But
right.
yeah. But I go to, some decent spots and I will say, these are 2 restaurants that I think are dope. Like check it out, tell me what you think.
Yeah.
And I'll put a high-end spot, right? And
like
I'll put a
average.
little regular spot to see what they say. And I told this account at the Friendsgiving we had where, a friend of mine, she's a woman, right? And I was like, yo, what you doing? Like, you wanna go somewhere, whatever, hang out, spend it, in each other's company, whatever. And I was like, yo, we can go to a movie, dinner, after, like, whatever you want to do. And I gave her 2 spots, right? I had Applebee's, 'cause Applebee's is good. I don't know if y'all...
I don't know about Applebee's.
Go on to the next option.
Right? And then there was the Russell, right? This is a nice fusion Jamaican spot out in West Hartford, Blueback Square, right? And I was like, what you trying to, and the Russell's not even really that expensive, but, so I was like, but she chose the Applebee's. And I was like, oh, all right, so you don't want to go to the high-end spot.
So what did that make you think of her?
Huh? That she was at least thinking, the food might be expensive there. I might have to limit like what I order just to show that I'm not.
Because she thought you were gonna pay.
That I'm doing the most.
Because she thought you were gonna pay.
But here's the plot twist. I'm gonna give you the plot twist, right?
You didn't.
So we go out to
Applebee's.
to Applebee's, and then we're gonna go to the movie after, and the vibe was dope.
Okay.
Like the vibe was great, and we was enjoying each other's company, right? No pressure, no expectations, right? So we wrapped up and we're chilling. I was like, all right, the movie's gonna start in like 30 minutes, whatever. And then I go, she does her little thing on the kiosk. So I was like, oh, maybe she's splitting. I don't know. Which I don't mind, but I don't mind paying either. So I get the kiosk now, and I'm just like, yo, my order's not like popping up, like And she was like, oh no, it's fine. And I was like, no, you're not understanding what I'm saying. Like, I'm trying to pay. The thing is not working. And she was like, nah, I got it. Like, it's fine. And I was like, I see that you paid for your food. I get what you're saying.
She covered you.
And I was like, you paid for the food? And
how did that make you feel?
She was like, yeah. I was like, why did you do that?
But
I had to ask. I was like, why did you do that?
Okay.
And she was like, why would I just expect you to pay? And I was like, oh, you tried.
But that was your friend.
I was like,
friend.
oh,
or was that romantic intent?
No, she asked me, like, we was going out for real. Like,
so she's a romantic interest.
And she was like, I was like, oh, you trying to get a ring tonight. Like, you trying to get proposed. You trying to get proposed to. And she was like, no, I'm grateful that we're going out, but she was like, I can cover it, the first one. And I was like, nah, I'm paying.
It was the Applebee's.
It was the Applebee's, right? Yeah. But she was showing that she was willing and considerate, like, that we were okay. And I was like, nah, I'm paying for the movie, whatever. And I did pay for, like, everything else after that.
I'm going to challenge you.
Challenge me.
To expand your vocabulary. Yes. That ain't your friend, Daniel.
That's like romantic interest.
You say a lady I was seeing, someone I was in courtship. That ain't your friend.
No, we're not in courtship.
Oh my God.
Okay, so this girl was not a date.
It was a date, but it wasn't a courtship. Like, kinda. Like, I wasn't courting her. It wasn't courting her.
So you were
okay,
so it was like a friend date. I do go on friend dates.
But you had romantic intention with this girl.
I wouldn't say necessarily romantic. I wanted to get to know her a little bit more. Yeah.
So then it was a first date type of a vibe.
She tickled your fancy. You wanted to see if it was going to get cat.
Yeah, like I was trying to see like a little bit more about her. Yeah.
And that's different from courting.
That's vastly different from courting.
So then, would you call that dating?
It could fit in the dating realm. It could fit in the dating realm. It depends on the intention, though. It depends on what your intention and motive for going out.
In my mind, dating is when you're getting to know someone.
Right. Or spending... All right, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, or spending time with them.
Spending time, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Courting is when y'all have been dating for some time, and you have determined, I'm going to pursue this person. I want to
invest in a relation. Or I want to invest more into our partnership or a relation, whatever that is.
Okay, so then is it fair to say that while we're dating, we're just casually dating? When we're in courtship, you be my girlfriend, boyfriend situation.
Right.
Okay. So then in the dating stage, you don't think you are entitled to pay for that person. Is that what it is?
Right.
But in courtship, you would provide
courtship,
more.
I got you.
Okay.
In courtship, I got you.
You hear that, ladies? Get in courtship.
I got you.
Okay.
Don't even take the wallet out. Don't even bring the wallet, really.
Oh, all right. Unless I be stranded in West Hartford.
Because here's the thing. Though mind you, and dating is not just a title, because a lot of times there's a misconception. We put titles to things that don't need titles.
What I'm understanding is dating is trying to get to know someone. In that scenario, you are not entitled to pay for every single date, but the first date you can acquiesce.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then in courtship, you're like, no. I'm really auditioning for the role now that I know that I want the part.
Right. I'm trying now. I'm actively investing into a union.
And so that means, I might sprinkle a little more. You might get a music box. You know what I'm saying? You might get a bespoke
suit.
Exactly,
right.
Okay, and then and so on and so forth.
But no, a lot of times, especially for me, right? I make okay money. Like I'm not Bill Gates out here, but I could do pretty decent for myself. I drive a decent vehicle. I get from A to B, and a lot of times it becomes annoying where women are just really just concerned about the money rather than everything else that comes with it. Like if I'm trying to get to know you, right? The first thing they're like, oh, what do you do? How much money do you make? Like what kind of car you drive? What kind of clothes do you like to wear? And I was like, how does that speak on my personality?
How many people are asking you that?
For a lot of dudes, I can guarantee you, if not after what is your name, they always ask, what do you do for a living?
What do you do? But I'm trying to get to know you.
But also, like, I understand it's outlandish to ask someone, like, how much do you make? Like, I think that's a little inappropriate, but I do think it's important. I mean, at the end of the day, men don't get pregnant. They get women pregnant.
That's true.
And so, if I meet you and you're like, I'm a bartender at 30 and I really don't have any career aspirations, I cannot then tie myself to this boat and be upset about the destination.
I guess.
Well said.
I guess that is very fair.
Yeah.
That is very fair and understandable, right? I'm gonna say it with two things. A lot of women do see men as just a bag, right, or just a come up. And I saw an experience this woman shared on, I don't remember if it was the Shade Room or not, where she said she had this man, and this was a real man to her experience, and he treated her right, like he treated her amazingly, like he took care of her needs, like this dude was that guy for her, right? And she divorced him because she said she needed more money. And I was like, that's
some crazos.
That's
crazy.
Very shallow, like, but that's the experience for a lot of dudes where they're great guys. A lot of dudes are not in the position to make six figures. Majority of men are not in the position to make six figures, but they're made to feel less than when they're not making six figures, or that they can't be providers making 70 a year or whatever. You know what I mean? So that's where we kind of get that pressure, and it becomes like annoying at times. Like, but what about me being a great guy? Of course I'm gonna need to provide for you. Like I look at my father is not a millionaire.
Yeah.
Or he's not, like, he doesn't make, like, he's not Bill Gates, let's just say. You know what I mean? But being a first generation American, I've watched my father be a real man all my life and take care of his wife and take care of his kids and be a man. Yeah. You know what I mean? Despite, the struggle or the financial aspect, men have been reduced to how much they make rather than who they are as a man.
And I hear that, and I don't think that's fair to anyone, because I just said I don't want to be reduced to my body part and like what I can use. Like I'm just this thing between my legs versus what's in your pocket. But then I asked, like, okay, $70,000, well, for a single person is a good chunk of change, but if you're a family of 4, let's say the woman has what I ask is, okay, outside of then money, what do you think men offer women when it comes to companionship as a partner? Because, like, again, I remember I said the responsibility of rearing the children will fall mostly on the women. I'm not saying that men don't help, but like, what do you then the question is, what do women should expect from a man to do then? Because if it's not financial, then what is it? Because emotionally, that's something I would go towards my friend. Like, what? And I'm not even trying to do like,
to
what
your
do you guys
friend for rather than your spouse?
No, I think
your spouse, but I'm just saying like certain things you don't expect from a man because you're not socialized to like, okay, this is the person that I go to because I'm crying. Like, so and I don't want to be like, what do you bring to the table? So I just simply ask, okay, well, maybe you have to rethink what it is men do provide for women in a relationship.
I think men provide companionship. I think men can be your legit partner, which means you could hold me accountable and support me emotionally, spiritually, etc. Right? But I can see what you're saying in that traditionally men have always been the providers, which means the home, whatever, and that doesn't necessarily mean six figures. But because that is the case, not the six figures, but because you have been seen as a providers for so long, I feel like oftentimes that first date is an opportunity to say, I can be a provider.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? And so that's why I feel like so many women now are like, nah, like I'm good at this point. Because like, it might, because you don't get a second chance to have a first impression, right? I see what you're saying about courtship versus dating, but your dating impression is your first impression. Yeah. So like, I'm saying not always. Like if she's out here ordering lobster, you be like, nah, you got the lobster. You understand? You understand, right? But I think it shows. I understand why I took you out here. Because also too, a lot of times, and I think this is a man from the UK that said it, and he said it best. And he was like, we have to realize as men, like, yeah, we're coming out here and we might, fine, we lose $100, 100 pounds or whatever, right? It sucks. No one wants to lose money. It's a recession, y'all. Start saving your pennies. But he was like, but also like, if women are going out with you, he was like, the reality is, and we're not saying it because no one wants to harp on it, they are more at risk for abuse, for kidnapping, for assault.
Definitely.
For most things, you know what I'm saying? If she's getting gussied up, she might not wear the skirts on her ankles. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
She might be out here. She might have caught the city bus coming to see you. You know what I'm saying? Like, etc. They're doing a lot to show up and be there. You know what I'm saying? And so it might be appreciated. And y'all brush your teeth and you go. You're ready to go. We putting on makeup that costs money, outfits that we got to think about. We putting the hairstyles together. The girls are getting ready. Yeah. Unless you're showing up homeless. Now shame on you.
Right.
But most of the time,
not shame on you because you're homeless, but because
you're not putting your best foot forward. If you're showing up to a date unappealing looking, right?
And you have a home.
Right. Throw some lotion on. A little Vaseline don't hurt nobody. Right. But I'm saying, if they've invested that much to showing up and looking appropriate and whatnot, I don't think, again, within reason, that it's out of the question to ask for a man to pay for a date. Now, we can say thank you because we're not entitled to those things, especially if it's a bad date, etc. I can understand that. But also, you're more than just a bag, respectfully. Yeah. Like, we're not out here saying, oh, we want niggas who make, six figures or whatever. Like, no, we just want to know that, if you are going to be with us, you have good intentions for us. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's it. That's all. That's all we're trying to figure out.
That is
women.
Right. That is 100% fair. Okay. Right? In all fairness. But the thing is, like, the same way I was saying that women also have, the responsibility of securing themselves and who they talk to, who they date to. Men also have the responsibility of securing
vet the people you're talking to.
Right.
Now, if you're talking to an Instagram model, you might be paying more than the Applebee's price.
Definitely paying more. Definitely going
She might expect you to do a little more than just the Applebee's. But if you're talking to regular girls who are our audience, we mean bad chicks though. You look good, girl, but you know what I mean? We're normal. We ain't no Instagram models out here, respectfully. Yeah. But like, most of us are here are good-hearted, wholesome people, and we just pay for the chilies. It's $25. It's
all the chili slander that's going on.
Come on, she might get a margarita.
It was the cool thing. So
right, I think that's it though. But I am glad that we have the distinction between dating and courtship. I'll give you that fair. And in dating, it might be fair, right, to play it both ways. Yeah. One time you pay, the next time I pay.
Definitely.
Right?
Because think about it though. Just like you
said no?
No, I'm about to lay some knowledge for you, right?
Lay some knowledge.
Think about this though.
How often are people actually going out, like when you're in a relationship, to eat dinner? And then I think about like if you come to my house more often than not, and I make you food and I'm cooking, I think it evens out if I don't pay for the dinner.
For sure.
Okay. So yeah, that's more than fair.
But damn sure if you cooking and you cooking is good.
So I'm not gonna cook and then also be. No.
But a lot of times women get offended if men ask if they can cook.
No.
Oh, don't ask now, Daniel. Don't ask.
I'll be like, yo, you cook, you throw down, like,
what
is it? Like,
wait to be offered.
Wait to be offered?
And you don't listen. You don't get a meal from me unless we in courtship. If we're gonna be talking about that,
exactly.
All right. Don't be asking for no courtship things on a dating budget.
Bean bowl cereal right before,
but here it is though. But let's think about it though. Why can't I ask for a meal pre-courtshot stage?
Because you said it's the entitlement, Daniel.
Exactly. So that's where I'm coming from. We're
not gonna end this. We're not gonna end this when we're all in agreement. We're just not. It keeps unraveling.
Daniel's like, I want chaos.
I'm here to argue now. But here's the thing though. Like if you're for real, if I'm a man, right? Well, I am a man. I'm for real about dating you, Lola, right? And I'm like, wow, Lola fire. She look good.
She do.
Y'all see her.
She cook good.
And she cooked.
I mean,
I ain't get
makeup on.
I ain't get a taste of the food yet.
Okay.
Get a taste of my girl though.
Right.
That sounded crazy. Okay.
That sounded wild.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Just straight raw dogging it out here.
Esther got an internal struggle going on.
Okay. Anyways, continue your point.
But if we dating for real, like I like you, you like me, and we're for real about this thing.
I feel like I'm another man.
I'm thinking about, but no, there's a difference between me liking you and then me liking you. Right. Yeah. And if we're going towards a union where we're courting and we're past the court saying like, yo, I want to spend the rest of my life with this woman, we need to be in an equal partnership, right?
All right.
Where, especially financially. I mean, unless he got it like that and he has like, oh, well, my wife not going to work because I got it like that.
From his lips to your ears.
No, listen, if I got it, I would prefer, listen, men are innately, want to provide or be able to provide. So you know what I mean? It's true because we feel less than when we can't. You feel me? If we really do love and care about you, we feel less than when we can't. You know what I mean? And if we're in a partnership, if I have it, you not working. And I would prefer you not to. I would prefer you to take that time to invest in yourself or invest in our children or what have you. But while I don't got it, we need to both equally.
So you got to struggle first.
We both equally need.
We got to both be putting into the pot.
Listen, if I'm making 80 and you making 80.
We making 160.
We making 160.
Yeah.
Right, but we both equally equally have to invest in in those things. But when I said about in the entitlement or the expectations, that means there's like a void of conversation where we don't have the conversation as to what to expect in this relationship. So a lot of people, they go in and it's like, well, automatically he's gonna pay for everything because he's a man. And then for men, they're like, automatically she's going to do all the cooking and cleaning because she's a woman, which is completely incorrect. We need to be able to have a conversation of how we're splitting finances. Who's cooking? If you don't know how to cook or the man don't know how to cook, we finna learn how to cook. Or how's rearing the children's going to go? You're going to go to school.
That's fair.
We need to work and invest towards a union rather than automatically having these expectations.
Fair.
Right.
Fair.
You know, it's funny. I actually think, and we're gonna wrap it up because this is probably the longest episode we've ever had this season. But it's funny because I think that people agree on the ending and in the middle so much more than they do the beginning, and that's the problem. Because everybody's always like the child rearing and the cooking and the household, and we got to invest and and everybody's like, yeah. And then I'm like, but you gotta pay for the first date, and they're like, absolutely not. And here's the problem.
We all want the same
that seems to be right. We're all taking a different path to get there.
Yeah.
The future Mrs. Daniel Blank, whatever his last name is. You heard it here. You replay this at home.
Yes, keep it in record.
That's why he didn't pay for you, sis. Y'all weren't in courtship. So you paid for the Applebee's by yourself because you was dating.
Well, because in that first stage of dating, technically, we're just still friends.
No, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
I understand. That provides a lot more context.
We are just friends, right.
But I'm telling you, as a woman,
Yes, you want to see that he
make that first impression. It will take you far.
That is fine. That is completely fine. A lot of men will pay the first time, but we would like to see that you at least
some reciprocation consideration.
That, just to show that you're considerate a little bit, like offer to do the tip, right? And after that boyfriend girlfriend stage, and we're both actively investing into the relationship, then we move on to getting you a ring. Like, don't tell me, oh, I need a ring that's 30 bands. I'd be like, I'm gonna hit Macy's.
Now we talking about. That's a whole different conversation.
But yeah,
y'all gonna have to tune into the next one for that.
Right. In terms of dating or the span of a dating lifetime and expectations, that is where those things should be categorized.
Okay, fair. Well, ladies, you've heard it here first, and fellas, because you've heard it here first.
Listen, it's science. A lot of research has gone into this.
Has it? Well, guys, let us know your thoughts. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to follow our guy Daniel here for more wisdom.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, and another thing. Hit the bell. Put on the notification.
Yes, the notification button.
Put on the notification. Because I be checking. I be like, when the next episode ain't.
It's coming out soon.
But when you hit the bell, you guys get the notifications. You guys will know exactly when these episodes drop.
And feel free to follow us on Instagram so that you guys are updated on our stories. Thank you guys for tuning in. Please share your thoughts. We want to hear from you, whether you agree with me, Lola, or Daniel. We just want to know. We're not going to fight you. We're kind people.
No violence.
Yeah, drop something in the comments.
Right, for sure. We want to hear your thoughts, y'all. So that being said, have a great time. We'll see you the next time. Bye.